Oh, God. Oh, my God.
I think one of the weirdest things about Gone in 60 Seconds for me is just how, like, masturbatory it was about cars. Like, it's for people who just geek out on cars. Like, the Wikipedia page has entries about the cars.
No.
Like, who fucking cares?
I mean, it's cool that it's a remake.
Yeah.
Which I learned last night.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I've never seen the original.
I haven't either because it's from the 70s.
You know what's cool about that?
What's cool about that?
Welcome back to Cage Match, a roundabout way meeting Nicolas Cage, :
It's just getting ridiculous at this point, Sean.
I know. Okay, let me take that again. Welcome back to Cage Match, : a roundabout way of meeting Nicolas Cage, : the podcast hasn't started yet, so stop talking about Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm your host, Sean, with my co-host.
I don't know if that's happening today.
All right.
I'm Nick.
And our producer.
Hello, I'm Peter.
And our special guest.
John.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How was your chicken piccata this morning?
I thought it was supposed to be veal piccata.
Oh, well, we're all on budgets. I'm on fixed income.
My chicken piccata was delicious, by the way. It was very well cooked. The yolk was nice and runny.
Mm-hmm. A good everything bagel.
Delicious bagel base. Yeah.
We lured John into Peter's basement with the promise of veal piccata.
Yeah, there is no breakfast today, though.
No.
Yeah, veal piccata Benedict should have been your hint that it was fake.
I don't know what veal piccata is.
It's like veal with capers and like a
white wine, lemony sauce.
Lemony wine
That
sauce.
totally sounds like an amazing Benedict.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It probably would be a good Benedict now that I think about it.
All right, we'll be right back. We're going to make this, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Yeah.
Would eat that again.
So on this podcast, we talk Nicolas Cage. Bracket style system. 64 films go in. One movie will come out. This week we're talking Gone in 60 Seconds and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. A very high octane episode.
Which octane would you say it is?
3.
You pull up to the gas station, you just go to the 3 pump.
Yeah.
It's mostly covered in spiders year round.
Oh man, fucking I hate fake spider season. I was all like ready for it. Now they've gone away again, which means in a week I'm going to walk right into a web.
Yep.
It was
Told you it wasn't spider season yet.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Spider season's end of summer.
What do you have against it?
Sean doesn't like the spiders. I think it's the
Mostly-
spiders is what he
It's
doesn't
mostly
like
the
about
spiders I
spider
don't like
season.
about spider season.
But like the spiders here are chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just like
They're just
to
not
build
fun to get in
webs
your face.
in front of doors, across sidewalks and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes
wanna-
they're even big and hairy, and that's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't want to ruin this for you, Sean, but I'm pretty sure we have black widows here.
That's fine. I grew up in a place
And
with
hobo
brown
spiders.
recluses. Yeah,
Hobo spiders?
hobo
Yeah.
spiders.
I think they're called unhoused spiders.
Drifter spiders. Your David
Little
Banner of
bindles.
spiders.
Oh, imagine how cute that would be. Spider with a little bindle.
Yeah.
It's a spindle. Let's be real.
Ah, John. Our most dad joke person who is not a dad.
Yep. I try. I got to have a thing.
So, John, what is your interest in Nicolas Cage?
My interest in Nicolas Cage is mostly seeing someone who's almost as hairy as I am.
Oh, he does have good body hair.
Yeah.
John, that is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Nick Cage too, occasionally, but not always.
Yeah, his chest hair is impressive. And I don't think we've seen his bare back. He's not a hairy backed guy.
No, it's just chest. I mean,
Yeah.
he might wax the back.
Oh, I'm
but,
sure he does.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, the chest hair comes and goes like the tides. Do you ever shave your chest, John?
Shave it?
Yeah.
When I was in bodybuilding, I shaved everything.
Yeah.
That was fun.
For speed.
In bodybuilding? You got to get all lubed
gotta
up
get
and
into that
slide across the
Speedo.
stage.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Reduce
should be quite
drag.
fun.
Yeah.
I used to have my chest and stomach hair shaved into an arrow pointing down.
That 100% tracks.
Yeah, I am not shocked by this information in the slightest.
When you
think
say
that-
used to, how long?
That lasted a good couple years.
What?
That
Yeah.
is
That is shocking.
maintaining.
Yeah.
That's a bit for sure.
Well, it starts to get uncomfortable when it's growing back out.
Mhm.
So you just maintain. Also, you get good about shaving around your nipples and everything.
I don't remember you being that hairy.
I'm not terribly hairy, but when it's just an arrow pointing
I
down,
guess you'd notice it.
yeah, it's like subtle.
What
It's
weight arrow are we talking
subliminal.
here?
The main portion of the arrow is about 2 inches, and then it flared out to about here, and then straight down.
I would say the main point of the arrow is the pointy bit, or the main area of the arrow is the pointy bit, not the line.
I would disagree
the
because
body
if
of the
you
arrow, I
just look at
suppose.
the pointy bit, all you're looking at is a triangle.
You got me there.
The line creates linear focus.
But a triangle can also be an arrow.
But
Triangles
it's
can
also
call
in 3 different directions. Which one do you look at?
That's only true for an isolateral triangle, though.
We're not bringing math into this. You leave your geometry at home. We're talking about harrows only today.
Gross.
that should have been where I came in.
Yeah. I'll just move everything around.
That's fine. You do anyway.
I'm not changing shit.
Peter's like, I fucking give up. I'm not even working on this anymore. Peter's going on vacation for like 10 days.
Yeah, I don't
he
even
doesn't
make
care
edits anymore.
Honestly, as much work as just guesting on this was, which is a shocking amount of work, by the way,
Yes.
I'm impressed with how long you guys have been doing this, because I definitely would have quit.
Yeah. So on the website too, I just had how many hours and minutes we've been watching Cage movies, and then I finally did the conversion, and now it reads how many days we've spent on it, and it's over 4 days now just watching the movies, and that's not counting rewatches.
Oh yeah, I watched both twice.
Just a singular watch is all I'm tracking.
Woof.
It's a lot of time that we have now lost to our Lord and Savior Nicolas Cage.
Praise
yeah.
be his name.
Yeah.
As Daryl would say, the golden hog of Hollywood.
I know he's gonna like that. We're gonna bring that in too. I mean, it's been transferring around to some other podcasts. So
Has it?
Yeah, he's
That's
spreading.
That's good. I didn't want to
Should look
like
into
just
that.
jump on his
Yeah.
thing there, but
No, I think he would enjoy that.
Well, he's got getting to foe you now.
yeah.
Getting to foe you
Wait, does he have a theme song?
for getting to foe you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got to put lyrics to your bass thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have
Him shouting "fuck."
yeah.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed you don't play that at the beginning of every episode.
Oh, play it
Oh.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would
Oh.
be different every episode because
Seinfeld it.
yeah, Peter just came over and we just held a microphone up to my
Yeah, just
amp,
noodled around.
and I
for
just
a while.
noodled around for half an hour, and that's what we got.
Yeah.
It's my one professional like bass credit. I'm a musician, ma.
There is an IMDb for bass players. It's actually the unemployment list.
So, Gone in 60 Seconds, which is where I'm going to be if this keeps up. John, you're the guest, which means I have to do less work. What's Gone in 60 Seconds about?
That's what you said last week, Sean.
And it holds true today.
So Gone in 60 Seconds is basically a standard heist movie. Let's be real. Like, there is nothing special about this movie, which is...
Whoa! That's a hot take, and I'm a hot take guy.
Can I go into opinions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so...
We don't do opinions on this
Yeah.
podcast. I like hot takes, but not opinionated ones.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love this movie, but there's nothing fancy about it, right? It's just Ocean's 11 with cars, more or less. Oh, I see you disagreeing.
No, actually, I was thinking it's more like a original Fast and Furious.
Ah, you beat me
So
to it. I was going to use that to
going
wind
to talk
you up
about
later.
Fast and Furious.
And it came out, just a year before the first Fast movie.
Because
wanna
I
see.
had to check that before I texted Peter. Because
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, I'm going to say this to Nick.
Nope, right down to the end when they're having the barbecue
Yeah.
and everybody's
No.
family styling it
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Fucking fast.
I
Wait,
kinda
family
want to, like,
styling is making out, right?
Yeah.
That's when everyone makes that. You just gotta
Buffet.
everyone sticks their tongue in at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember when three-way kissing was like the hot thing on TV for a period of time?
Absolutely not.
No.
What are you talking about?
It was really big during the
I'm actually
road rules
with
and-
you. I
and
know what
Real
you're
World.
talking
You know what I'm
about.
talking about, right? It was
I-
like the big thing, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's so hot to three-way kiss." It's like that's terrible. Like
No.
nobody's getting any action. It's just
That's-
tongues touching.
That just makes me think of a buddy of mine
That's not how you kiss.
back in high school. I mean, in Oregon, we had 18 and over strip clubs and stuff, and he would go to the strip club after school. And this guy was
High school?
Yeah, this
Okay.
guy was falling hard, and he was blowing like all of his paychecks at the strip club, and he was getting like lap dances from 2 strippers at once. And it's like, that is insanely stupid.
Just like one on each leg.
Yeah, I don't know if they were like jumping in
One up-
and like back
One up
and
top,
forth,
one
but
down.
Yeah.
nobody's doing 100% of their like actual work.
I'm
And
expecting like one of them to stand on the shoulders of the other.
Wear a trench coat.
Yeah.
that would be cool.
World's tallest stripper.
Yeah, now I'm kind of into this. Yeah. So this movie, I don't know, like 2000 is when it came out,
Yep.
and it
Yeah.
feels very 2000 to me. Like that
Absolutely.
intro
It
is
does.
so fucking dated and like shitty font work. And
Everybody's got that like 2000 hair that's kind of just slicked back.
Yeah, greasy Ribisi.
Greasy Ribisi. That man is quintessential 2000,
Yeah.
Mhm.
All he was
Whatever
missing
happened?
was some wraparound shades.
which his sidekick had.
Yeah. Which one?
Always.
Tumblr?
The tech guy, who his one tech thing was fake fingerprints.
No, he had the wasn't he was the one with the little thing that got the garage
Yeah.
key
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
Recorded the frequency that the garage door opener
Oh,
opened
yeah.
on.
As if that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Which
Although-
apparently they could have just walked around to the back of the garage anyways, because there was an open door
Yeah.
in that scene.
Did not pick up
So-
on that.
Oh
Also-
yeah, because like when they're in there and
someone's stealing the car.
yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
girl like walks up and he's just standing there in the open like, Can we talk about like real quick? I know we haven't talked about anything about it yet, so
That's on brand for us.
the goons that work for Ribisi in the beginning. So like,
James Caan, or not James Caan.
I was like, what fucking movie are you watching?
Scott Kane?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
is it Kane?
I don't know. Kane?
I thought he was a Scott. Yeah, Scott Caan. I'm pretty sure.
Well, just the names of the boosters in the beginning. There's Kip Raines, which is Nicolas Cage's younger brother.
Ribisi.
Yeah, played by Gary Ribisi. There or whatever his name is.
Greasy Ribisi.
Greasy Ribisi.
My first note of this movie was
Played by
so,
Gary Busey.
was so
Yeah.
greasy.
If Gary Busey ever plays Nicolas Cage's younger brother, I will buy 30 copies of that movie and mail one to every listener who gives me a comment.
That's and just burnt on DVDs that someone's had lying around for 20 years.
Just an old CDR.
CDRW, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about these guys real quick. So there was Kip Raines. There's a guy named Tumblr who has the dumbest looking mutton chops and is just, I don't know, a beefcake idiot. Fuck, what was that other guy's name? There was Mirror Man, the wannabe Dave Chappelle,
Oh, he was
who
the tech guy.
never shuts his mouth.
Yeah.
Let's say the thing that pisses me the most off about the guy with the sunglasses is that he never takes them off.
Yeah, you never
He is
see his
completely
eyes.
blind for half of that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything happens at night. Gotta wear your mirrored shades.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mirror Man, Tumblr. There's a guy named Toby.
That's the screw up.
Yeah, Toby doesn't do anything. He's the one that he's like, I can get into the DMV, hack into the DMV, change license plates and this and that. And it's like, oh, okay, you're an
It was
idiot.
that guy.
And there was Freb. Freb's the
Freb's
one
the
you're
one I was
thinking,
thinking.
who
Fred gets
pizza. He's the
hires
pizza guy.
pizza like a madman and apparently steals drug dealer cars and brings
Yeah.
a bunch of heroin back into the shop.
I've never seen heroin. Can you tell heroin apart from other white powder drugs?
They could.
Probably not by looking. Yeah.
I didn't see any like gum rubs or anything like that.
Now that we've kind of talked about that scene, what's this movie about?
So Nick Cage gets pulled back in for one more heist. He used to boost cars for a living. Skip town for mysterious reasons until his brother Ribisi, Kip, goes a little wild on a job and gets the attention of the cops, and now is being held hostage by Doctor Who, Christopher Eccleston, with a great wig, who is threatening to kill his brother, to kill Nick Cage's brother. Memphis Reigns gets pulled back in to steal 50 cars in 4 nights. Otherwise, him and his brother are dead.
To be clear, that's the job that his brother signed up for,
Yeah.
and then his brother botched it, and now they have to do it in a compressed time frame.
Yeah.
Right. Or else they're
Apparently-
going to go into that coffin that Christopher Eccleston built himself.
Because he's
Very impressive.
yeah,
He's the carpenter.
he's an accomplished woodworker.
Yeah, that's his mafia name, the Carpenter. Because it's
He's
2000.
he's a lame ass character. I did
He's-
not enjoy him.
As villains
He has
go,
zero
he's pretty
motivation.
fucking weak.
I understand why Christopher Eccleston hates fucking Hollywood, because he was like British and mildly menacing, so they just kept making him like shitty bad guys.
Foreigners are scary.
It's true.
We don't like him here.
That was my one problem with, well, not my one problem. It's just that the lack of motivation for the villain, right? He's just being a jerk to
Yeah.
be a jerk.
He's promised somebody else 50 cars, and if he doesn't deliver, he's going to look like an asshole.
Yeah. It's not like he's going to die. It's not like the other guy's going to kill him or something, or like,
Also, so the job is only worth $200,000. When I heard that, I was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
That was $200,000 in 2000 money.
well,
Okay, so inflate that up to 500. I mean, maybe a
300,000
million.
maybe?
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, the
doesn't
job
seem
is...
worth it.
but we can use the
It does
rule of
not.
72 here to figure out how quickly that would double.
Oh, good. Yeah, do that for us, please.
No, I'm not going
I
to.
mean, but the job is mostly to save his brother. He doesn't care about the money.
Sure.
And Ribisi fucking sucks. He's a fuck up. You see his house. It's shitty.
oh man, his breakfast making skills
Yeah.
suck.
What?
Oh,
What's
God,
in this? What's in this? I don't know.
Yeah. It's garbage. If my brother tried to serve that to me, I don't know, push him over.
What
to be
was
fair,
it?
they're estranged.
That's true. Yeah, it was kind of a fuck you
Try-
breakfast.
Was it though?
No.
I think it was like an I helped you breakfast, but then Nick Cage is trying to be like, be nice. He hasn't seen him in 6 years.
Yeah.
Nick Cage now runs a go-kart track like in the middle of nowhere.
He looked like he was having a great fucking time.
He did.
Too.
Yeah,
it was
Also,
such a
you know
charming
Memphis gets his pick of the single moms.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
tracks.
But the single moms that hang out in dirty go-kart tracks.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I love that because my note for the go-kart track is like, okay, owns a go-kart track. And it just cuts to an old guy sitting in a chair. I'm like, comes with its old guy.
As they all do.
So Memphis has to get his old crew back together, boost these cars.
Sorry, you said boost.
Ding.
I counted the times they said boost in
Ding.
this movie.
How many?
15.
only 15?
They're
Because
boosting.
they go hard on it in the end where they like keep calling each other a car boost and
Ding.
stuff like that. 15's still a lot.
It's a lot of times
It's
to
a
say
lot for
boost.
one word.
Yeah.
That isn't
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
He's so he's got to get his old crew back together. A real who's of nobodies, except for Vinnie Jones.
Wait, in terms of actors? Because the actors are great.
Yeah, Vinnie Jones is in this, who I love in everything. He's the Juggernaut, bitch, and
Chi McBride.
he plays
Chi McBride.
Yeah.
uh,
that guy fucking
silent
rules.
character.
I love him.
Mm-hmm.
His character's great in this too.
My first exposure to him was in Boston Public.
Who?
The black guy with the hat.
Oh, okay.
Who's
Bucket hat.
Yeah.
Which this again movie of its time. He's introduced teaching an Asian woman how to drive. She cannot drive, and then he talks about how he can't swim.
Yeah. There's just something to be said about realism in film.
Oh,
What
boy.
I want, keep that in there, because we see this Asian driver crash the car in the first act. In the second act, when they're getting a list of all the cars, we see her at the DMV crying because she failed her driver's test.
So the thing she says when she's at the DMV and she failed her test is, "You're supposed to speed up when someone's tailgating you."
Yeah. I thought that was good.
So in the third act, when the cops are chasing Memphis, I wanted to see her just back out and just like hit a cop car to like stop one of the chases, and she doesn't know what's going on.
That would have been a good finish to
been,
that
yeah.
arc.
Rule of threes, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's,
That actually
uh,
would have been funny.
Chekhov's racism.
God.
I assume Chekhov was racist.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So 50 cars one night. Angelina Jolie's in here for a
Oh,
brief period of
reasons?
time.
what
So-
is wrong with her look? Oh my God. I've never been less attracted to her in my life. And I'm sure that's not the point of her role for me to be attracted to her,
I'm
but
pretty sure that's the.
I think
entire
that's why
point that
she's
she's
there,
in
yeah.
super weird white dreadlocks. She looked like she was one of the villains from the second Matrix movie. Like she looked like one of those little ghosty people. So pale.
Much
Like did
later
they
than that.
powder her too?
Dude, I don't know. Everyone looks like shit in this movie.
Well, it's very. When was Hackers?
Like 97 or something
Okay.
like that.
'Cause I was wondering if like she just came off Hackers and just did this.
Well, so apparently that role was written specifically for her.
I mean, the role had nothing to it.
That's what I mean. Is I think they inserted it just so they could have Angelina Jolie be
Okay.
in the movie.
Hackers
Oh.
was 1995.
Okay, because
Okay.
yeah,
Oh yeah, Fisher Stevens. Was
her
in
in
that.
Memphis used to be a thing.
My high school theater teacher was in Hackers.
Oh no shit, that's cool.
She was roller skater.
Nice.
Yeah, there
Which
wasn't
number?
much to her roles.
No,
Just
there's a lot.
rolling. Yeah.
But so Memphis and her used to have a thing. Then he disappeared. Now she's gone legit, so she can't join the crew until she just does.
Yeah.
And then later on, there is a very uncomfortable car sexy scene.
Almost sex scene.
I also didn't understand how their
Almost
legs were
sexy.
intertwined in that scene.
Very confusing.
Yeah.
Have you ever had sex in a car? In the front seats of a car?
No, I don't think I've ever had sex in a car. I've
I
tried.
have had sex in the front seat of a car, but it was a minivan, so there was some space.
I
Probably
did it
an
in
automatic
a Geo.
too. In a
You did
Geo.
it in a Geo?
Yeah.
Which one? A Metro?
Storm.
Okay. Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Respect.
I mean, it's no
It was-
Metro.
Have you ever been in a Geostorm?
No, but I've been in a Geo Metro.
Oh yeah, it's about the same amount of space. Less backseat in a Storm. The sports car of the Geo. It is. It had all 4 cylinders.
This is this is relevant for this movie, certainly.
Yeah,
So
we're
I
a
think-
car pod
That's,
now.
that's definitely a car that was on
We're
the
taking
list.
over for what is it, Scritch and Scratch on Car Talk?
Oh yeah, click and clack.
Yeah, that's it.
We do have a very quintessential Nick Cage moment in this film because right when he's going back to being a hardened criminal, he gets his crime jacket.
Yeah, crime jacket.
I was
Love
so
a
pumped
crime
for the
jacket.
crime jacket,
And then he says, I'm a bad man.
which is basically as good as if he had said crime time.
Yeah,
Crime time.
crime jacket.
What would your crime jacket be?
I feel like you know that kind of purple velour coat that he's got in that Dead by Daylight game. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be my look.
Just Nicolas Cage's actual jacket.
Yeah.
I would probably wear like one of those fleece-lined bomber jackets.
Ooh, that's good.
Hmm.
Crime jacket.
I'm gonna go with like a deerskin vest, not a jacket, but like a vest.
Oh, nice.
Does it have fringe?
Sure.
Cool.
And turquoise.
Yes.
Corduroy.
Sure.
Just a corduroy jacket.
Nice. Very on brand.
Or a windbreaker.
Ooh.
So good for
The best
crime. So yeah, this movie is not a movie that anybody watches for the plot. I think it's fair to not talk about that any further.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Bruckheimer movie.
yeah.
You're here for some explosions.
Yeah,
and-
it's 2 hours of boosting cars. You get to watch them steal cars in various manners, between either like getting keys made from the dealership to like go steal them, or at one point when that fails for a couple cars, they break into the police impound and steal cars that they tried to steal earlier and already had keys for.
They steal one nice car that just has like a door open button underneath it.
Oh, yeah. That was a nice car. That was cool. It was like an
Yeah.
old hot rod.
I'm
Yeah,
like, why
that
would
was
you
cool.
have that?
Yeah, don't have a little door open button.
They steal a car from Dr. Kelso,
Oh yeah.
which tells me this movie is in the Scrubs universe. What's the one where he's an ambulance driver?
Oh yeah, the
Bringing out the dead.
Bringing Out the Dead has Carla in it.
Carla's in there. Yeah.
So
As a nurse.
as a nurse. So I'm just saying, like, all Nick Cage films happen in the Scrubs universe.
So you're
The
saying
NCU
that
is the Scrubs universe?
Scrubs is actually in the
Nick Cage.
NCU,
Yeah.
which makes me think in the NCU, Nicolas Cage is the most generic looking person.
Yeah.
Similar to like how I'm super generic looking, he's now the everyman.
Yeah.
Nick Cage is everyman.
Of the Cage Brockheimer films, I feel this is the one that just goes from the word go. It doesn't really ever slow down, and it doesn't feel like 2 hours for me.
No, it's just action.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
So it's car chases, it's cars being stolen, a little bit of like criminal intrigue as they outsmart cops, and
Those cops were kind of cool. So like, we tracked good cop, bad cop. I kind of liked both of those cops.
yeah, they were fine.
They put the heat to that one guy who just works at the docks. And he's just like, come on, man, I'm just trying to do my job. I'm like, well, we're going to go talk to your boss. I'm like, fine.
Well,
He was
that's
on parole.
I mean,
People on parole aren't people. No. Sean, I almost called you Nick.
I was gonna say, does anybody even know which one of us is which? And I'm like, no, that's only in photos that people don't know which one is which. I introduce myself every time. Yeah, they know which one's mine. Identifiable voice and all.
That'd be a weird long con if you were actually Sean.
Yeah,
It's just a huge bit.
we just
29
switched it
fucking
up from that
episodes.
one time
Oh,
when
we-
Sean fucked up the intro.
We
Yeah.
we talked about that for Nick and Sean Steele podcast, where we're going to switch names to, like, our names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yeah,
Oh, I was gonna say. So I looked into some of the writing and stuff like that. And the guy that wrote this also wrote High Fidelity, which is like the most talky movie.
Yeah, it's
Like the
really
most-
strange.
Yeah. But also J.J. Abrams did uncredited rewrites.
Yeah, he did a lot of punch-up work, kind of in this era. He's sort of uncredited on a lot of movies to try and make like a little more interesting, funnier, snappier dialogue.
interesting.
The director also directed Season of the Witch.
Yeah,
See, I did the work.
That's
which is
why-
good because we
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
People don't come here for facts.
I was very nervous about being bad at this. So
Don't worry, we set the bar real low.
Yeah.
great.
We set you up to succeed.
Okay. Favorite chase scene.
I mean, the last one's really good.
I know there's really only
There's-
the
yeah,
one, but
there's-
it's huge and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's in the Mustang, Eleanor, his white whale,
His unicorn.
his unicorn.
Unicorn, yeah.
Which it's like, there's only one of these in the city. It's going to be the easiest one to track down if the cops get onto you.
Yeah.
Why not just steal it first? I mean, it's because he's worried about it, because every time he's tried to steal this car, it's gone bad. And
It's
then
an
it goes
ego
bad.
problem. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it
did
is.
like when he was trying to find the car. He goes to the dealership and he talks to that guy.
So Nick Cage goes into this dealership. It's like a Ferrari dealership, and he's acting out this character, just being very kind of foppish. And the the dealer comes up to him. He's like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, "Perhaps, but this is the one. Yes. I saw 3 of these parked outside the local Starbucks this morning, which tells me one thing. There's too many self-indulgent wieners in this city with too much bloody money. Now, if I was driving a 1967 275 GTB 4Cam, so you obviously knew what you were coming in here for." But he says wiener, and I liked that.
You just like the wiener part. Well,
I wrote it down because he said wiener.
I just wrote down self-indulgent wiener.
Yeah. What I like though is it's so corny, but he just goes, "Your name's Roger? I'm Roger." Well, 2 Rogers don't make a right. And it's like, that's such a shitty joke, but it's perfect.
Beautiful for that character that character is playing.
Well, from a long quote to a really short one, when he meets Christopher Eccleston for the first time, and Christopher Eccleston's like, "Do I look like an asshole to you?" "Yeah."
Yeah, it's a short quote.
I'm always so flustered in these situations. So like he ends up throwing the $10,000 or whatever it was back at Cage's face, and nobody collected that money, and it always drives me crazy.
I know, that's
it's like in that other one where they in a rage where he doesn't recollect his money. It's like, get the money.
Goes into the poker game, puts the money down, and just starts stabbing people and leaves. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't like a pay to play situation. You don't have to like pay money to stab somebody.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can just
stabbings are usually free.
Yeah.
John, do you have a quote?
Oh, I have many. The one that's not actually by Nick Cage, it's by Timothy Oliphant's detective guy, who very inconsistent, by the way. Like sometimes he's schmarmy, sometimes he's very serious. I could not put a beat on him.
Sometimes stupid.
Yeah, but also sometimes smart.
Yeah, very confusing character.
Anyway, so at one time he says to Nick, "By the time you get out, asshole, there won't even be cars. We'll be all coming or driving around in spaceships."
I loved how much Timothy Oliphant's character annoyed the other cop. Like he kept saying things like when he says the other cop's wife is mean.
Oh yeah.
And that look he gets in return.
Well, she is.
Yeah.
She can be a little mean.
Yeah.
That was a good character. That was probably the best side character, like supporting character in this movie.
Yeah. My favorite Cage line, it comes at the end when Ving Rhames finally talks, and he just like
Ving Rhames.
Not Ving Rhames, Vinnie Jones.
Who's racist now?
Vinnie Jones's line of waxes poetically at the end of this film for the first time, and then Nick Cage just goes, "Hey man, I thought you were from Long Beach," and shrugs.
My favorite quote from this is definitely, it's just one that I use a lot in my life. They're getting ready to go out and to do their boost, and Nick Cage just preps, and he's like, "Okay, let's ride," and that's it.
They're listening to Lowrider.
Yeah.
And all the young kids are like, "What the fuck is going on?" And all like the old school boosters are just like, "Shut up."
Yeah, it's a hype moment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I say that all the time, and I love it.
I wanted it to be tied to the music cue better. He just
random
does it randomly. Yeah. I mean, it was internal.
It's
I
about
get
what's
it.
going on in his heart.
You gotta rev up.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. We've been talking about Vinnie Jones. Is that it? About him not talking. Did anybody else pick up? He actually talks earlier in the movie as well. So when they're prying open the like security box thing in the garage, the guy
Mirror
with the
Man?
sun, yeah, thank you. He's having a hard time, and so Vinnie Jones comes in with like a screwdriver and says very quietly like this and pries it open.
Oh.
And I was like, really? Did I hear that?
Sphinx.
It was I just rewatched that
That's
scene
the
before I came
riddle.
over. It's a knife, and then Mirror Man.
Why is that the hardest one to remember?
I remember mirror, but what's the other part?
Mirror Man, like,
He was
because
a
he's been
man
talking
with
shit to
mirrors
Vinnie
on
Jones
his
this whole
eyes.
time, and just tells him he's gonna kick his ass, and Vinnie Jones just like holds the knife up to him, and he's like, "Man, why you gotta take shit so seriously?"
I liked that pairing of all the like groups
sure.
to be put together. Vinnie Jones and Mirrorman, TJ Cross is the actor. They are the best combination because he never shuts up and Vinny never talks.
Did you guys get at the Michael Pena sighting
Yep.
Yes.
as the stereotype?
Cholo.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah. So Eleanor, the Mustang, has such a weird fucking history in Hollywood because the character or the car is trademarked from the first film, and the wife of the original creator apparently still owns the trademark and is super lawsuit happy if anyone ever tries to like use Eleanor or even tries to paint their Mustang that color, she like just sends an army of lawyers after him.
That sounds like an asshole.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
color? Vaguely silver?
Yeah.
Like the specific paint with the specific stripe. She like, and
We'll never know. The 70s were in black and white.
this has never been tried because she just sends so many threatening, like, her goons out that people just, they're like, I don't want to have to pay to deal with this. But she always takes these people's cars. There was a guy online who was building a, like, robo car of Eleanor, and she sent her goons after him, and they, like, took it. And he still doesn't have it because he doesn't have the money to fight that lawsuit.
She's a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. There's a story here.
Do we need to
There
heist this lady? Like,
Oh, we got to go steal Eleanor.
multiple.
Yeah.
Weird little history to this film.
I guess be gone in 60 years.
I mean, she will die soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
They never actually, like, say that in this movie, though.
What?
That an old lady's hanging on to the...
Yeah. No, they never talk about that. That thing that happened years later. No, but the gone in 60 second things, which I assume is just like if you're stealing a car, you want to be gone in 60 seconds.
Oh, I know this because I did the research.
Yeah.
So when they're at the impound lot, behind them is a sign from the original movie that says, if you leave your car unlocked, it will be gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now you know, dear listeners.
Background posters.
That's where the story is.
The story in this is all about that air tank that gets dropped and pinballs
Yes.
off of 4 different cop
Oh,
cars in
Yeah.
the final scene.
That chase scene is great.
It is.
Pretty solid.
It's got everything. It's got construction workers who don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I really wanted to see like a plate glass being
Oh, yeah.
carted across the street.
We get a
Or a
cop.
painting of an alleyway that they
Yes.
drive into.
I mean, it's practically there. The wrecking ball like slams a cop car through a wall.
Are you
And the
okay,
guy's
man?
fine.
Go ahead.
Are you okay, man? Yeah, why? Because you just went through a wall.
We had another quotable moment.
Yeah, it was good. Something about this movie that really got me is like Nicolas Cage really is the straight man through the movie.
Yeah.
Everybody else has some like fun character piece to them or like moment, and he just doesn't. The closest he gets is like dry humping Angelina Jolie in a car. That's it.
I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
That's the thing about it. It's like there's nothing to sink your teeth into. There's no story. There's no, well, I mean, there's a story, but it's like summed up in 2 sentences. But it is fun. It's well designed action, and it has a good pace.
Yeah. It's car porn.
Yeah, there's not a lot of meat on the bone, but it's damn fine bone.
So I asked my wife if she wanted to watch this with me, and she's like, no, I've seen this like 8 times in 15-minute intervals on TBS over the years.
That's how I'd seen this movie before.
yeah.
Oh,
and like,
that's rough.
Yeah,
why?
Not as it was intended to be
Yeah.
consumed, certainly, but
Yeah, commercial breaks in an action movie kill me because it drains all momentum from the movie.
Mhm.
I feel sorry for her. If she wants to come over and watch it, we can.
yeah.
Ooh, bring her on for, well, never mind. I guess we don't know if this goes forward or not. But I was like, bring her on for the second season.
Oh, there you go. Um,
I thought you were going to imply that the podcast fails. Well, I don't know if this is going to keep going. It's like, oh, yeah, you're right. This could be the last episode.
Ouch.
what do you guys put it on the
Oh,
Venn
yeah.
diagram?
The good Cage, bad Cage, bad Cage, bad movie, Cage movie, bad good. I am not wording well today.
No, it's morning. Mornings suck.
Yeah.
I feel good about the Cage and good about the movie.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah.
Not Cage's best performance, but far from his worst.
Yeah.
Mid Cage, really fun movie. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. I love it. I'm done. That's all I gotta say.
Good. All right.
I also kind of loved it, weirdly enough.
It's fucking wacky, and I am here for it. So this is from the same director as Mom and Dad and the Crash films.
Crank.
Crank.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, Crash is a
Not
very
Crash.
different movie.
Yeah, very different.
The Crank films. And by and large, this film is shot as if it's like a mid-range BBC action drama until you actually get to the action scenes, at which point it goes off the fucking rails, and I am 100% here for it.
I really enjoyed it. I'm concerned that it got misplaced in our bracket. Like it could have been a fucking weird one.
Yeah.
It
But-
probably should have been.
It fits fine in both because it is good action. There's, motorcycle riding. There's okay. When he turns that vehicle like at the quarry
The
into one of
excavator
his
thing?
into
Yeah,
one of his
yeah.
hell beasts, it's like,
That
that
was
thing
so
is so
badass.
cool.
I literally, when they first comes up on the screen, I'm literally like, there's no way that's a real thing. That looks way too menacing.
Yeah.
And then I went on the Wikipedia page and they're like, yeah, This was the heaviest land vehicle for like 20 years in the earth.
So Sean and I were walking the other day, and we were talking about how everything turns into a hell vehicle, right? And Ghost Rider.
How many miles did you go, by the way?
Oh, yeah, we're getting dangerously close. So in Ghost Rider 1, we know from the old Rider that the horse can become a hell horse.
Yes.
So literally anything can become a hell whatever. So I was like, could we just like jump on Sean's shoulders and turn him into Hell Sean?
What if he's taking a dump and he like pushes a little too hard and then the toilet flames out and he's just riding a hell toilet?
I love it.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Not a vehicle, though. I mean, it's a vehicle for poop, but
Sean is definitely a vehicle, though.
Yeah.
It's a vehicle for deep thoughts.
So, Spirit of Vengeance. Nicolas Cage is
Spirit
back.
of vengeance.
Vengeance.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is back as Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider. He has been running from his deal with the devil, trying to get away from himself and find a cure, only to wind up trying to track down the son of Satan to save him from becoming the devil's form on Earth. Also starring Idris Elba with the worst French accent ever.
he was nominated for an award for that. Like a real one, not a Razzie.
Really?
No.
Uh-huh.
Why?
It wasn't a BAFTA, but it was like a knockoff BAFTA.
Okay.
No.
Jeez.
It
still,
wasn't a
though.
real
BAFTA?
American award.
Yeah. For decent
okay.
French accent.
I had to think about what BAFTA stood for. It's British
British Academy
Actor-
of
okay,
Film and TV Actors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it a British Razzie?
I don't think so. They got nominated for a lot of Razzies too, though.
Yeah.
What was up with his contacts? Like his eyes were just weird. Why did he need weird contacts?
there was
Witcher
no
eyes.
reason.
Yeah, it's strange.
But I liked him. He was just a drunk French dude.
Oh yeah,
Especially at the end when he's like got the super old bottles of wine.
Yeah.
I love when they.
Not bad. This would go good on a salad.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I think Peter and I discussed this a little bit. My description of this film is it's Ghost Rider with a lower budget, but they spent the money correctly in that they spent the money on the action scenes. Everything else that isn't an action scene is very hammy, very overly dramatic, overly acted. The supporting cast is you have Giles from Anthony Stewart Head from Buffy as a priest who dies in 5 minutes. And then later you have the Highlander who, according to IMDb, did 3 months of sword training for this movie, which I'm like, bullshit.
I think I believe that because the way he whips that sword around when it all goes dark after, he's trying to behead her or whatever, or behead the kid, like that looks professional.
Well, the only...
But he's the Highlander. He
Yeah.
shouldn't need to train.
Right.
Well, so the only reason his swordplay, I think, looks better in this film than it does in the Highlander is that man is legally blind. So if they just put him in a dark room and they're like, look cool with a sword, easy. When he has to sword fight with live steel against someone else, they have to stand 5 feet away from each other because he can't see what he's doing.
Most people have to stand 5 feet away from each other in a sword fight too. This isn't a blindness thing. Most people have to stand pretty close.
You're thinking of knife fights.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
What if you have one of those Sephiroth swords that are really long?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, then you could probably stand 9 feet away from each other.
Cool.
Not a direct sequel. It's
No.
more of a reboot.
Yeah,
It's
it feels like a soft
spiritual-
reboot.
Yeah.
Peter Fonda
The spirit
was
of
interested
reboot.
in coming back for this, I read.
I thought he was dead at this point.
No.
Oh, okay.
Apparently he was interested in coming back to play the devil again, read 5 pages of the script, and said no.
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, there actually is not much of a script to this movie. That's the biggest fault to it. But I fucking hated Ghost Rider 1, and I thought this movie was a blast. And because it was nothing. It was popcorn. It was candy in my mouth. And then at the end, I was like, I could have more candy.
And it was sub 90 minutes.
And it was
Yep.
It was
sub
hour
90
29
minutes.
or
That's
something.
so fucking nice.
Yeah.
That is refreshing.
Nick Cage is not in great shape in this film, but he's in a leather jacket the whole time, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh.
I love the fact that he's just kind of like this old, beaten down, Ghost Rider.
The style in this, though, is cool, man. I liked it.
Yeah, I like the insertion of the little animated bits,
Yeah.
or
Oh, I
illustrated bits.
hated that.
Oh, really? I thought it was a fine
Very
way
well
to
done.
Tell us more, John.
Frequent listeners of me and not this podcast will know that I've done a little bit of writing, and that just strikes me as such lazy. And yes, I realize the writing in this movie is blah blah blah. Also, can we talk about why? Because the writers that were involved in this movie are accomplished writers. There's no reason this should be this bad.
Yeah.
Probably time limits. They're like, we'll pay you for a movie in
Give us a movie in a week.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the people that did Batman, the good ones.
David S. Goyer.
Yeah.
David S. Goyer wrote this. He's also written The Worst of the Blades. He directed Blade Trinity.
I love Blade Trinity.
I kind of like Blade Trinity too.
Yeah.
It is the worst of the Blades, though.
But I think it's because I like what's her face.
I just like Ryan Reynolds.
I was gonna say right.
Jessica Biel?
No, not Beale. The vampire villain.
You like the bad girls?
Was it Parker Posey? Is that who it is?
I think so.
Parker Posey, such a bad girl.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of January Jones.
Oh, she's a bad girl too.
Probably
I just
Parker
like
Posey.
calling girls bad girls. Sean, you're a bad girl.
Thank you.
You need a
Mr. Big
spanking.
Round Balls.
Mr. Big Round Balls.
So yeah, Johnny Blaze has to get Danny, the son of the devil. I'm just gonna go back to. All right, again, this
Sean's
is
like,
another.
fuck you guys. I'm not a bad girl.
I said thank you. I said ooh when you said you were gonna spank me. Okay, this is another movie where the plot doesn't fucking matter. The devil Rourke wants Danny because they can do a soul transfer, and then the devil can have his full power on Earth. That's the story. Nothing. It doesn't matter. Johnny's trying to track him down, and the deal is Idris Elba's clandestine monk group can remove the Ghost Rider from him.
But it turns out they really only needed Idris Elba because the rest of the monks didn't help.
Yeah, they just wanted to kill a kid.
Yeah.
But like, what kind of assholes are they that they wouldn't just do that for free? They're supposed to be some kind of weird Christian monk order thing. Like, seems like eliminating a hell demon from the surface of the earth would be kind of up their alley.
Yeah, but face tattoos aren't cheap, and they had a lot of face tattoos.
They did have a lot of face.
That's
tats.
true.
Apparently, Chris Lambert hated the makeup so much that he just didn't take it off and would just go back to his hotel with that.
I think that's what the Decay guy did as well, because his makeup went from like very thick and white at the beginning towards the end. It was like kind of pink and sweaty.
Oh, yeah. Blackout.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, things are showing through the seams a little
Again,
bit in terms of the
You
budget
can
on this
see
movie.
where the budget was, and it was on one. The Ghost Rider looks fucking awesome.
Yes.
Completely
And two,
agree.
Like we said, any vehicle he rides in this becomes a hell vehicle. And like Danny's even like, well, what if you get in a taxi? What if you ride a camel?
Hell Taxi.
I really
Hellcat.
wanted him, like, I want a Ghost Rider movie where he gets in a monster truck. I want to see him drive Gravedigger.
Well, then here's the thing is
That'd be
this
so
movie,
sick.
Hell arms bouncing around.
This movie had Truckosaurus. Hell Truckosaurus. This movie had so many great little ideas that I really wish it would have done well enough to get a third one of these films.
For sure.
With these same directors. That would have been so much fun. To let them do what they did, but with an actual budget.
You know,
Write a letter to Kevin Feige.
Yeah, it's funny because so the budget was like anywhere between, it says 57 million and
$17 and
75.
$23.
Yeah, right.
Somewhere between
It
17
did make
and
a profit.
$23.
And it did make a profit. It made 132, which, you know, you had advertising and all that stuff. It's like, that's not great money,
No.
but it wasn't a fucking bomb.
Well, and this
It
is,
was in the States, though.
this
Took international box to,
Yeah.
to cover.
this was the second and last film under the Marvel Knights imprint, where they were trying to do slightly darker movies. Punisher Warzone being the first, which was an R-rated Punisher film starring Ray Stevens, which I love.
Same.
And this, which was originally supposed to be R-rated, and then Sony got cold feet and made them make a PG-13.
Boo.
That's
so-
sad. This would have been way cooler. I was
Yeah.
R-rated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about this film is, if you watch the making of this movie, the directors are like both cameramen, and the way they got a lot of those motorcycle stunt scenes where like you see the wheel up close, the director's just sketching with rollerblades on the back of the motorcycle holding the camera.
Yeah, it's wild.
So the scene where Idris Elba goes over the cliff, director holding on the motorcycle, riding behind it, and just lets go at the last second and just goes around that turn. And the other director is in a harness over the cliff that slingshots him back with the camera with the stuntman coming at him. It's insane.
Yeah, those guys
That's
are
pretty rad.
they're crazy.
I've got it written down, and like that was the coolest shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was so badass.
And when they're doing the stunts on the road, when like Johnny is trying to show off to Danny, same thing. He's sketching like again behind the motorcycle and just like letting go, and the other motorcycle stuntman just right by him. Watching how they filmed this movie is insane.
I just want to say I haven't heard the word sketching since the last time I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I think.
I've never even heard it until right now, and we heard it about 15 times. So
Yeah.
There was
Not as many
also
as boostings.
there was a
Stitches
sketching.
get stitches.
There
That's
was
what
a
I know.
yes, they do.
Probably, yeah.
There was a sketching video game at one point.
Oh, weird.
yeah, that is weird.
All I know is rollerblades are dumb.
You're more of a roller skate man.
Whoa.
Hot take.
Hot takes.
Tell us more.
Hot takes.
I hate those inline wheels.
One time I was okay. So here's a rollerblading story. I was rollerblading down this hill in the town I grew up in. I was maybe like 12, so it was okay for me to be on rollerblades. And I'm going around this corner, and I didn't want to be on the street because it was a pretty blind corner. It was a really steep hill and sharp corner. So I'm going down the sidewalk because I knew nobody ever walks up that hill. And as I'm getting down, there's a funeral home at the end, and somebody was just pulling out of the funeral home, and I'm going maybe like 35 on my rollerblades, and this car pulls out, and it's like, fuck, I'm gonna hit them in like 40 feet. And there was just a chain link fence next to me, and without thinking, I just grabbed the fence and just clotheslined myself. Hand got like kind of like caught in the chain links. I just like go up and then hit myself like right down on the ground, like maybe 7-8 feet from the corner where this car is. And they just kind of looked and then pulled out and left. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And
A 12-year-old too.
Yeah, I'm just dying on the side of the road.
Gravel embedded into your arm.
So you said something interesting there, and that's it was okay you were on rollerblades because you were 12. So I'm curious, are you saying you were old enough or young enough to be on rollerblades? What's the appropriate age to rollerblade?
I think you can rollerblade up until 12 and a half.
And then you have to go into classic roller skates.
Yeah, no, then you should either be
Booty shorts?
skateboarding or taking the bus. Like, those are your options.
I'm getting back to this because I do love this movie. Nicolas Cage is outstanding in this. Like, he's worked with this director again. This director just wants him to go fully Cage. When he's the ghostwriter, he has 2 speaking lines, but doesn't really speak like when he's the ghostwriter. And it's cool that he was doing, the motion stuff for the ghostwriter. Doesn't really play that it's Nick Cage, or it doesn't really need to be Nick Cage, especially because they do a lot of like speed up, slow down, because the Spirit of Vengeance is an insane fallen angel. So they really play up that
Spirit of Vengeance.
The Vengeance. That the ghostwriter is just toying with people. So he's just standing there, just swinging his chain and just like swaying back and forth while everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, some of that was kind of weird, but I did love the physicality that he brought, especially with the head motions, because very jerky and
He's doing a Stevie Wonder at one point.
Yeah.
yeah. But it looks good for, something that doesn't have muscles.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe it's
There's no weird pointing. He doesn't do the over.
I know.
over the
We were
arm
so
point.
sad about that. I really miss his weird point from the first movie. That's the only thing I liked from the first movie.
Peter and I were talking about how perfect it would have been at the end when he like goes to heal Danny and he's like, and then he like hands and it's like, oh, that should have been a pointing heal.
This movie has also it's the first time that they have an in-universe reason for a Nick Cage performance, because the demon has gone insane, so Nick Cage just goes full on crazy.
Yeah, he just gets to be an insane person.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, because that's what we were all missing in life, was
Did you-
an actual justification for Nick Cage.
Have any of you seen the stills of him in the Ghost Rider scenes?
No.
So Nick Cage,
I mean, I paused it a few times.
no, not
Does that
not
count?
the CG, like him on set as the Ghost Rider. He showed up on set, not telling anyone, with full Baron Samedi makeup from Live and Let Die. So he had like witch doctor makeup, like white face with like blackout over his eyes and stuff to get more in character, which serves nothing to the movie.
Nah.
He just did that.
Yeah, it helps him.
That's fine. It's just like fucking crazy person, and I love it.
Are you saying you've never done that?
Insane performance, insane action when the Ghost Rider gets blown up for the second time and he's just floating 3 feet above the ground and slowly spinning.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was something like, I haven't read a lot of Ghost Rider comics or anything, so I don't know like where his weaknesses or anything. Like Venom has his sonic kind of weakness. Does the Ghost Rider have like a flashbang
No, 'cause
version?
In the first one, it was daylight made him
Yeah.
turn back into like
Right.
regular Johnny Blaze, but they don't really fuck with that.
Oh, they do at
in
the
the
very
very
end.
beginning.
In the
They're
beginning.
like,
That's right.
the Ghost Rider doesn't like the light, and it's when Danny gives him his powers back that he can go out in the day. Also, the fact that movie of this era, a lot of CG heroes, or a lot of CG action at the end of this film. Broad daylight. They're like, no, none of this darkness. We're not going to show you what's happening. Broad daylight Ghost Rider fight.
Well, they had to save the darkness for all the, what was that guy's name? The rotting guy?
Blackout.
Blackout? Oh, well, okay, that
Kerrigan.
makes sense. The blackout scenes for the blackout.
What was with those? I don't know.
The character in the comics' power is he can just make anywhere he's at just pitch black so no one can say.
Cone of Darkness.
Yeah, kind of. His power to just anything he touches just rots instantly.
Except
used-
the Twinkie.
Except the Twinkie, used very
Which is
well.
hilarious
That
joke,
is-
by the way.
yeah,
That was
Very
fantastic.
good joke.
But that led me to think, who eats Twinkies like that? Because he just like puts it in his fucking mitt and like pops the bag by squishing it and then go-gurts it into his mouth.
He was driving an ambulance at the time. He was busy.
I can open a Twinkie and drive.
It's the fastest way to get a Twinkie in your mouth.
Yeah,
We gotta
Nick
get
just
some
eats the
Twinkies.
plastic, too.
Yeah.
that's fair. I just swallowed the whole thing whole. I do love how deadly his chain was and how it was just splitting people in
Yeah.
half and burning them up. But where was his penance there from the beginning?
He
Yeah.
does it to one guy, but they don't really show an effect for him.
Yeah, there was no effect. It just kind of looked like he was staring people down and like enjoying watching them be afraid.
Was
Yeah.
that
I
was that the
literally-
guy who had like an illegal download or whatever and got
No.
killed because of it?
Oh,
Yeah, they show up. He's like, Spirit of Vengeance shows up while he's on Napster, and he's
I
like,
do-
"Did you pay for that?"
I do want to say, when the second fight with Kerrigan at the quarry, Kerrigan sees the penance stare scene. He's like, "Don't look at him." So the next time they meet up, and like Nick Cage is holding him by the face, the actor who plays Kerrigan is looking everywhere else, like is directly trying not to look into Ghost Rider's eyes. I thought that was a nice little touch.
yeah,
I felt a little scene at the beginning, though, when it was like the voiceover exposition thing, and then the eyes like stare at you and
Yeah.
they break the fourth wall. I was like, "Oh, what did I do?"
Illegal downloads, baby.
Yeah.
This isn't my quote, but I did write that down because I did like that.
Don't put this in, but I definitely was pirating that movie.
yeah, he's gonna come for you now.
And you don't want to be around when that happens. You see, there's good and bad in all of us. And maybe you're not a murderer. But we've all done something you don't want the writer to see. A white lie, an illegal download. What about you?
I bet Lars Ulrich got them to put that line in there.
Fucking Lars.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's the worst Metallica.
It's like Metallica, like a Voltron.
Basically,
I guess all bands are kind of like a Voltron.
variously important appendages.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Def Leppard? They didn't need the one arm.
Oh man. So, first a joke,
Do you
then
have
a
a Def
story.
Leppard joke?
I have
A
a
Def Leppard
joke and a story actually.
So when I was in Def Leppard,
So what? I gotta remember this right. What has 9 arms and sucks? Def Leppard, because he's missing an arm. So when I was living in Montana, I lived in Missoula, and I was going to Billings for a Def Leppard show, and I got pulled over, and because I was doing, I don't know, somewhere around like 95 or something on the freeway, which you think is fine because the speed limit's like 80 in Montana, but I got pulled over for doing that, and it was just so weird to me because like towns and cities are so far apart there that I didn't get a ticket. He had a credit card reader, and I paid $40. That was my fine, and then I left. No
Weird.
court appearances. It's just $40 fine. Keep going.
Did you get a
It's like
receipt?
Mexico.
Yeah, I got a receipt.
Oh, interesting.
that's pretty efficient, though. I kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
It's like,
so-
yep.
What
I
if you
will-
contest it, though?
Then you probably have to deal
Then
with
you
this
would
shit.
probably have to go in, and
I'd
that
just pay the money.
yeah, that would be
Yeah,
like a
$40.
couple hour drive.
Yeah. All right, let's get our quotes in.
Okay, I've got a couple, so I'll just put some in
Yeah.
here and there.
You're just doing them off the dome?
I'll sprinkle them in. No, I've got my
Oh,
phone
okay.
here.
Damn.
We do these all off the dome, Peter.
yeah, right. Everything. No notes. Ever.
No notes.
One of my favorites is just at the end when the Ghost Rider knocks Kerrigan off the car and then they run him over, and then Ghost Rider just looks back and he's like, "Roadkill."
Oh yeah, that was the second.
was the second
that was the
line,
second
yeah.
That was a good one.
Mine is, let me get something straight. The guy who kidnapped Danny and tried to kill you and blew me up, chugs a bunch of pills, with grenades. You two were like boyfriend and girlfriends?
The follow-up line to that was no, I get it. You're the devil's baby mama.
I like that one. That was my,
So
my only
my-
quote.
My quote is when Johnny and what's the devil's baby mama's name?
Persephone.
I also was looking at this and I was just thinking like this movie
Nadia.
does
Nadia.
not pass the Bechdel test.
No.
Like she's the only there's like one other woman in the entire thing and she's like a gas station attendant or
So,
something.
We know more about the fact that she's Romani than well, okay. She plays up every poor stereotype of gypsies
True.
in the world. Like,
Yeah.
she is going, like, she robs a guy, her and Danny, like, steal some guy's wallet and, like, wedding ring when he tries to hit on her. And they're always, she's the worst. I hate her. But you never, like, her name's forgettable.
Yeah.
But she's a gypsy,
So
which is not a good term to say.
Correct.
Kerrigan has kidnapped Danny. This is after the first Ghost Rider scene, but before the quarry. And they're questioning a thug who knows Kerrigan, and they've seen that they've been texting. So Nick Cage, like, puts the phone in the guy's mouth and goes, Kerrigan must have told you about that thing that killed the men last night? Huh? Yeah? That thing is inside of me. See? You're a bad man. And this thing, the writer, he feeds on bad men. And he's hungry. He's hungrier than he's been in years. That's why I'm shaking. Because right now, the only thing that's standing between you and the writer is me. And he's scratching at the door. Scratching at the door. And if you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm going to let him out. And when he's done with you, there won't be anything left of you. Understand?
Yeah, the scratching at the door line, that was the one time in this movie that I was like, come on. I still like it.
Loved
Yeah,
it.
I loved it. So
Scratching at the
bad man,
door!
is that the tie?
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a couple more that I'll just bang out real
Go for
quick.
it.
The scene, I can't remember what led up to it, but he's just writhing on the floor. He just says, "Merry Christmas, you assholes." It's like, what? They end the movie with a conversation like, "Is it over?" It's like, "I'm gonna say yes, hell yes." It's like, oh, fucking dumb. Come on.
I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, it is good. But my favorite quote, or my favorite line, probably, they're sitting like in a diner or something, and it's Nick Cage and Danny, and Nick goes to like brush the kid's hair for some fucking reason. I don't know why, but he like reaches out and the kid like kind of pulls back, and Cage is just like, "It was a bee. I thought it was going to sting your face." It's like, you're inside. There was no fucking bee. Why are you trying to touch children? Come on. Spirit of vengeance is going to have some words with you.
I just want to. I do also just love the opening little thing. My name's Johnny Blaze. I used to ride a motorcycle for a living. I did a bare ass 360 triple backspin in front of 22,000 people. It's kind of funny. It's on YouTube. Check it out.
They should have made that for YouTube.
Everything
for this purpose.
about this film is amazing.
It's pretty absurd.
And I know, John, you don't like the like little
Illustrated.
illustrated like things. I mean, it's just, again, I think that's more of a budgetary thing than anything else. Just everything about this movie, especially as a Ghost Rider fan, just fucking hit for me.
Well, and for me, so the big thing, like, again, as I mentioned, I hated the first one.
Yeah.
And this one, it felt like a comic book.
Yeah.
It was light on, a lot of things, but it didn't matter. Like, I had enjoyment the entire time. And that really made a difference for me. It feels like the most comic book Marvel movie that I've ever seen.
I have one criticism, only one criticism of this movie.
Only 90 minutes.
Steve Buscemi was underused.
Why was Nadia an accomplished sniper at the end?
A good
Why did
critique.
she have a fucking sniper rifle? And why was she just nonchalantly picking off motherfuckers?
Listen, the
part of
Romani
your-
people are very skilled.
Where did she get it? Are you going to tell me she stole it? That's racist.
Didn't she get it from Idris Elba? Didn't he
Yeah.
have the whole arsenal
Yeah.
No, probably.
in the basement
Yeah.
with the wine?
She's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
She's like, I'm hating you less, Moreau. And she like, good Cage, good movie, bad Cage, bad movie, good, bad, bad, good.
A bad Cage, good movie.
Interesting.
Outstanding Cage, good movie. I love when he's allowed to be wacky.
Yes, but are we Okay, we've never talked about actually what these bubbles in the diagram are.
I don't think it matters.
Is it a good performance?
Yeah,
It's
a
good
good point, 'cause, like,
acting? Is it good?
this movie is actually like kind of a bad movie.
Yeah.
but
It's a
fun
terrible
as-
movie, but
absolutely
it's a
a bad
lot of
movie.
fun.
That's
it's a lot of
terrible.
fun.
A lot of fun. No, I mean the acting is very over the top and wacky, and it's not like a deep performance, but it's exactly what it's supposed to be. I feel, and
And
it's
it was better than the Ghost Rider take from the first one.
yes, and it's very entertaining. So yeah, this is like probably the cagiest we've ever seen him, where he's just allowed to go full on just himself.
In a Ghost Rider movie, yeah.
Definitely that. I enjoyed him thoroughly. So in terms of just pure enjoyment, I'm going to say great Cage.
And what for the movie?
Great movie.
Great. John, what do you think?
I'm pretty close to Sean. I'd say, great Cage, bad movie. Like his acting in this was simultaneously bonkers and also amazing.
Yeah.
It was exactly what I wanted out of Nick Cage. If this isn't
Like
big.
this is the best version of everything people make fun of Nick Cage for in terms of acting.
Yes, and I agree. It's what I wanted from the movie. It's not a good performance.
Okay, no, you're right. It's
Yeah.
not, but
So-
it's still fun.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm totally in on that. Bad performance,
Bad performance,
good result.
good result. Okay, I like that. Yeah, bad
So,
performance, but
In the
good-
Venn diagram of bad movie or bad Cage, good movie, you have Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance in the butthole.
Yeah. You heard it here
It's
first.
right in the pocket.
This is the butthole of Nick Cage movies, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna eat it up, you millennials.
So with that, John, what do you where would of these two, what would you again, your opinion does not matter, but what would you put forward?
This is actually really hard because, like we were saying, Gone in 60 Seconds is actually like a pretty decent movie. It's just totally unremarkable. Whereas Spirit of Vengeance is a bad movie that's inexplicably good. Like if it was a minute longer, it wouldn't be good anymore.
Agreed.
It does know when to stop.
Yeah. I think you should send Spirit of Vengeance on.
Vengeance.
Vengeance.
I'm inclined to agree. It's the more they're entertaining for different reasons, but this is like I love the spectacle of it so much more, and I had so much more fun watching it and rewatching it. It was simultaneously not as great as I built it up to be, having only seen it in theaters.
Oh, we didn't even
You saw
talk
this
about
in
the
theaters?
flamethrower
The
P
flamethrower.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like your
No.
favorite part of the movie
Yeah.
is the flamethrower P, and you
Oh,
didn't
it's
even
awesome.
talk about it.
Because there's so much other stuff to talk about in this film.
I mean, they show it twice.
Yeah.
It did get a lot of screen time.
But I remember seeing this. I saw this movie in theaters when it came out, and I loved it then.
You went on was this a date?
No.
Oh. I went to Too Fast, Too Furious on a date.
First
I-
date?
No, we'd been dating for a while, but I still walked out of the movie. This was before my love for the Fast franchise.
I
really.
mean, Too Fast, Too Furious was a tricky one.
Yeah.
That was a big shift.
Yeah,
Boo.
I hadn't seen the first one.
I didn't even think about that.
I saw this movie in like South San Francisco. I got out of the theater at like 11 o'clock to have a bunch of texts from Meredith who had locked themselves out of their house in Oakland, like lost their keys, was locked out of their house, locked out of their car. So I had to drive like 40 minutes to Oakland to help them break into their house.
Good thing you had your hell car.
And my crime jacket.
Speaking of the crime jacket and the Ghost Rider crime jacket, one thing I picked up is when his head is on fire, the jacket boils.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The shoulders
I wanna talk
boil.
about that.
And I
It
was
was
like, that was cool.
Cool.
Yeah, the
It's a
finish
good
on that
effect.
leather jacket is pretty fucked up because of all those
Although
flames.
anytime he's not Ghost Ridered out, it's just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the leather's kind of peeling.
Yeah. I want to say, Spirit of Vengeance. I mean, in terms of a Cage performance, it's the cagiest of performances.
Well, it looks like we got 12 minutes to argue. So no, I'm kidding. I'm perfectly fine with
Sweet.
Spirit of Vengeance. I think that'll be a fine movie. A little misrepresented in the bracket, but
It
I
is
think
much
it still
weirder than
works.
that.
Yeah, it's just a weird action movie. So it works in both. But
Yeah, it's much weirder than I remembered it being. I just remembered the straight action parts of it.
oh yeah, so Spirit of Vengeance may move forward.
Sweet.
I feel good about that.
Nice.
I don't know if there's any real This Week in Cage, but I know that you guys
Spirit
are.
or Sympathy for the Devil
I was
comes
just
out.
gonna say, you guys
So-
are going to go. It came out yesterday.
Yeah. So, well,
Direct
yesterday
to
being
streaming.
the day before we recorded.
Yes,
So
it came out on the 28th of July.
there you go. That's the time it came out.
So yeah, Nick and I are going to watch this at some point and record a little our thoughts on
Yeah,
it.
this week we're gonna do a Peterless record.
Yeah.
Yeah, Godspeed
He,
to me.
yeah, drop a couple sound bites down for us, and we'll just insert you somewhere.
Oh, good. Yeah,
I've been waiting to say we'll just insert you somewhere for
You're
most
like,
of my life.
guys, focus.
Yeah, we'll just record you doing one of these.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's the best jerk off motion recorded ever.
Just send us the raw audio of that time you yelled at us when we were doing Ghost Rider.
Oh man, yeah.
We'll insert that in there.
God, that was a bad episode.
Yes. So we've got a
Terrible
Sympathy for the
movies.
Devil is out now.
Yep.
With starring Nicolas Cage and Joel Kinnaman. We will record something on that.
Nick Cage's Dead by Daylight DLC, I think, finally came out.
Yes, I've been seeing photos of that, people playing online. So if you play Dead by Daylight, go play as Nicolas Cage and listen to all those weird Nicolas Cage lines. I listened to a bunch of them.
Yeah, you sent us a clip from YouTube that was what, like 20 minutes of just the raw audio.
Just his audio
so
files.
it's just him being like, "Come on,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?"
Which is probably good fodder for like clipping into other things.
We should use that.
Yeah. Well, take that, Nicolas Cage. You're going to be on our podcast whether you like it or not. Oh, come on. And I don't know what else is going on in Nick's world.
You talking about you?
Oh, maybe.
That's the sequel to
Wayne's
Bobby's World.
Bobby's
No.
World. Nick's World.
Bobby's
Nick's
World.
World.
God, I haven't thought about Bobby's World in forever.
Oh, that's the only time I ever think about Howie Mandel.
Do you remember the Louis Anderson cartoon?
Oh,
Life with Louie.
yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was pretty
I
good.
love that.
Yeah.
I remember the episode where he went to camp.
Which is kind of like camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all ages camp.
The line from that show that always sticks
That's
with
where
me
you get diddled.
is his like little brother just saying, "Told you I could eat a whole stick of butter."
Ooh, fun story. Well, not really a story, but fun fact. I used to eat butter straight as a little kid.
Whoa.
My parents had to keep the butter off the counter.
Oh, you went for soft butter?
Yeah, just like counter butter. You didn't have counter butter?
Oh, no, I still counter butter, but if I was just eating a stick of butter, I think I might want like a refrigerated
Yeah, you
stick.
get that. The
I
melting
feel like
action is
it
better.
would grease my mouth too much if I went softened butter.
Yeah,
But I
mean,
don't know. I'll have to try it. Salted or unsalted?
I don't remember. I was like 4.
I'm an unsalted butter guy.
Me too. John, do you have anything you want to plug? Unsalted butter?
Yeah, John Brand unsalted butter.
Good.
Get it wherever you podcasts are sold.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you for being here.
I tried.
Thanks, John. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, ditto.
So yeah, next up we've got Matchstick Men and Guarding Tess. Yeah, so anyway, thank you for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you'd like to throw any money at us, we are on Patreon at Cage Match.
Or you can
and
find us on the street and just throw money at
You
us.
can do that too, yeah. And
Yeah,
But
later,
ask
later.
first, because I don't want you giving money to some rando.
Yeah,
that's
make sure.
true. There's
make
a
sure
lot of
it's
people
us.
that look like Nick.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you to our Sparkle buddies, Josh, Sean, Josie, Rico, Matt, and Adam, and to our cage dancers, Ira, John, and Freeman.
Hey, that's you.
That's me.
Thanks, John.
Yeah. I paid my way on here.
Exactly. That's the only way you get on this show. Do you want to talk about flaming piss again?
Always. With my doctor, though.
Bye bye.
What was that?
Was that a butt?
No,
I didn't
that
know
was
it.
my toe, my
Oh.
sweaty toe squeaking against the wood chair.
Yeah, nice.
See if I can do it again. No.
No, it's a. Fortunately, we caught the audio, so
Great.
I'll isolate that.
The most entertaining strip clubs I've ever been to are the ones with the acrobatic strippers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Until
Those
they
are
start
pretty good.
clicking their heels, that's obnoxious.
Yeah. Roller skating strippers are pretty good.
Oh, that's a new one.
I would like to see some tap dancing strippers.
Okay, so what you're talking about is burlesque, really. You would
Yeah.
definitely see a tap dancing
Oh.
burlesque
Yeah,
dancer.
we should go
I don't like
to Dante sometime down in Portland. They do well, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they used to have a thing on Sundays called Sinferno. And it was like a huge burlesque show, had like go-go dancers. There was a guy that would just show up with a snake, like he'd have his boa constrictor and he'd just walk the audience. There was like close-up magicians in the audience. and burlesque dancing. It was fucking sick.
That
I
sounds
think
awesome.
There's like indoor fire pits.
Oh, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, Dante's was rad.
What I want is like the level of like a high school talent show, like people with bad talents just doing them topless.
Oh, so you just want me to do the podcast topless?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Have you ever seen somebody like on their first nights or weeks?
no.
Okay, so let me just start this off with culturally in Portland, strip clubs are not as weird for people to just go to as in some other cities.
I remember being in Portland once and going into a restaurant and getting a burrito, and then I was like, I got to use the bathroom. They're like, just go through there. And it was, you walked through the strip club.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay.
They're zoned as
Burritos and strippers.
erotic or exotic dancing. So it's not like a sex industry thing. It's a dance industry thing. I've been to some where, you know, they would have somebody out for their first week or whatever. And there was this one girl, this is the most memorable one. She comes out and like very uneasy on her like 8-inch heels and kind of like gets up there. She does her piece, which is mostly just holding on to the bar for support while she kind of like wiggles and writhes in a circle around it. Never like did any pole work, never did any, like she did a little bit of ground stuff, but she wasn't real good at that either. People had left some money up there, but she couldn't like bend over to pick it up in her heels. She wasn't good enough. So she had to like kind of tiptoe off the stage and get out, like holding her clothes. And another stripper came up and picked up all the money for her and brought it back. And it was just the saddest thing I've ever seen. And I'll never forget or ever stop talking about the time I saw a lady's first strip.
How do you know it was her first, though?
Yeah, maybe she's
Did they
just really
say that?
bad.
Yeah.
They did not say it, but I'm going to hope that it was her first, because if it was like second or third and she couldn't even figure out how to lay on the ground and shake her butt.
You need a clip, shake her butt, and just drop that in occasionally.
Shake her butt.
Shake her butt.
Shake her butt.
You guys don't have a soundboard?
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
I
with,
mean,
like-
not that kind of soundboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Wah, wah, wah.
Only when we're on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we can bust them out.